too. All right. So, welcome to You've Been Served. This is one of our podcasts with Christian before he left that we've recorded in advance. And today we're going to cover a range of topics.
Oh yeah, baby!
Sorry, we're distracted. We're all playing fucking cell phone games.
Yeah, I'm my bad. Uno is fucking intense.
I'm on darts, and I'm getting my ass kicked.
Ooh, shit.
So you can tell how much, they care about the podcast and are invested in its future.
I just got Uno.
So,
was that 20 points?
For the first subject, let's talk about Ty. Because Ty has a reputation. He's come over a couple of times for my birthday and for other things to come play video games, right?
Oh.
And he's gotten a name from it. They call him Tiberius the Clapper.
I don't.
Because
in case you guys didn't know it, he has another name. And I'm gonna put it out there, Ty.
Go for it.
The Otis the Black.
Yes. Tiberius the Clapper is his game name because he claps so much ass on that game.
I like ass.
He does.
Yeah, he likes it.
But no, every time we play, he kills fucking everybody.
Yeah.
It's a little bit frustrating. Like,
I'm sorry.
We'll all be playing and we'll all die. And Ty wins every time. He's good though. I gotta give him that.
He is really fucking good.
I mean, I'm decent. All right, and I know that sounds offensive because
Yeah, no, that is offensive. Fuck you.
But being that I play with some hardcore gamers and they whoop my ass all the time, yeah.
All right,
But
so
in context to this.
So let's talk about the Clapper's favorite games then.
Ooh.
And like what do you play?
I like adventure games. I love story-based driven games. For example, one of the recent games I got. It's actually not even recent. I need to quit bullshitting myself. Alright. I have this game on my PS4. It's called Horizon Zero Dawn. It's a dope game. The animation is really good. The storyline is dope. Anybody with a game system, I recommend you get it. It's just pure, utter fun. Another game I'm playing right now, one of my favorites, is Borderlands 2, or in other words, Borderlands The Handsome Jack Collection. It's a combination of two games with...
The what?
Borderlands The Handsome Jack Collection.
That's a very odd name for a...
It's because in Borderlands 2, the main villain, his name was Handsome Jack.
Uh-huh.
And he's a bitch. But he's a really great villain.
He sounds cute.
He does. Handsome Jack.
I'd fuck Handsome Jack.
Is he as good looking as Jack Sparrow? Because, man, I would go to town on that guy.
At first, he was.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
You guys probably won't understand the lingo I'm about to use, but because of the video game...
Try me.
Right. So, in the game, the Borderlands, the game is based about finding these things called vaults. The vaults unlock like these super powered stuff. Like it's complicated. Like a vault can open up, can give you control to like one of the world's most strongest creatures. The vault can give you access to unlimited power. Like it goes on. Anything could be in the vault. Mm-hmm. So, in one of the games, it's the pre-sequel. It kind of gives background about Handsome Jack before he became Handsome Jack. And
damn, when he was a baby?
No, before he got this horrible ass scar. So he got the scar because there's an insignia that you'll see all throughout the game. It's basically a circle with the arch in the middle, and that's just the insignia for the entire game. It's supposed to symbolize the vault. And in the game, there's this girl named Lilith. She's called a siren. Sirens are basically, I want to say superhumans with like a certain set of abilities, but only 6 can exist at a certain period of time. And she's one of the 6 sirens, of course. She comes in, she does like this superpower move on Jack. She hits a stone insignia on Jack's face, completely fucking up his face. And in Borderlands 2, he gets his face replastered on himself. And that's why he calls himself Handsome Jack.
Now I have a question though.
Yes.
Can you clap that face?
Yes, you can. In Borderlands 2, once you kill him, you can unlock his skin where you wear his face.
That's okay. All right.
It's completely disrespectful.
That
So-
sounds like some Texas Chainsaw Massacre type shit.
So speaking of Lucifer, it actually brought up something to my head that I've been wanting. I mean, sorry, not Lucifer, Lilith.
I was gonna say, whoa.
Yeah, wait, no, Lilith. It brought Lucifer to my mind because I know we've all been watching that.
Love
So
Lucifer.
spoilers if you haven't seen it and you're going to see it.
I don't spoil that
But
shit.
what did you guys think of that show? Because I just finished it.
Dude, I fucking love that show.
Lucifer is great.
Alright, my opinion on it, it made me like the devil.
Same.
Like,
Same.
my whole life I was raised like, oh, the devil this, the devil that. He's a bad motherfucker. Okay, sure. The show gives me a perspective of Lucifer being a bad motherfucker. And not a bad motherfucker in the sense that he's bad, you know, negative connotation, but bad motherfucker in the sense that he's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
You know? Like, completely different perspective. Talks about religion here and there, but makes things cool. Like,
It fits with the Bible's representation of
it
it,
That
really
it
does.
which was cool because it's like it's a totally different perspective that you don't really think about. Like you don't think about the fact that he's not really a bad guy. He's a good angel that's been put in a bad situation where he needs to punish the evil, you know? And the effect and the toll that that's taken on him, I think is really interesting to explore.
He can sing.
Exactly.
He can shit. That dude can sing,
He
bro.
really can.
He can blow.
And then at the end of the day, it's like punishing people gets annoying. Everybody needs a vacation. Let Lucifer take a vacation.
Shit, I think he should be done.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done it for like what millions of years now.
Exactly.
He's like, you know, I think he's served his time as the king of hell.
No, for sure.
I don't think he should have to go back. But of course, that brings us to season 4, last episode. What happens, right?
So
He has to go back to hell,
Damn.
sad.
bro.
It's okay. That's not the last.
It's not the last. Do you heard the 5th season got extended instead of 10 episodes? It's 16.
Hell yeah!
Really?
Yeah, it's 16 episodes.
Ooh,
I don't know.
let's go.
But I'm glad though because I wanted more episodes in the last season.
I
Man.
really hope I'm not going through finals when that shit comes out.
Right.
I'm gonna fucking rip my hair out.
Yeah.
We should talk about that on the podcast when season 5 comes out.
Yes.
Definitely.
I'm so down. All right. Now, just for anybody who's religious out there who's listening to us speaking so highly of Lucifer, you gotta understand that for one, it's a show. Don't get mad at us. It's just a show.
Get over it.
Man, people are making shows about literally everything right now. Don't be that person to start judging a book by its cover. Get to know it first.
Just
All
me
right?
by the cookie I eat.
If-
You feel me? So, another thing I really like about the show is you're right. It does use it uses the Bible's references to kind of like create the characters that they have. And I think it's fucking dope. Now, unfortunately, me myself, I haven't read the Bible entirely just yet, and please forgive me. It's such a tough read when you're just reading by
Hey,
yourself.
it has to be forgiven. 'cause
I
half
think
of
it's-
most of America hasn't read. the
Yeah,
Bible.
which is interesting. You know, the reading amongst atheists is higher than the reading amongst religious people.
That's crazy.
Like, and it's even represented here. Both Chris and I have read the Bible.
And I haven't. I've read scriptures, but I haven't read the Bible. Now,
I think that's for me not to get too because I still want to talk about Lucifer, but not to get too religious or anti-religious.
Shoot, man,
but
shoot.
reading it was one of the things that convinced me. All right, like I don't believe anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's just there's so much of it is like wild beyond belief, you know. And I get that some of it is meant to be parable, but way too much of it is written like it's not.
There's a man in there that lived 756 years. Obviously, that number is supposed to be a representation of something else, supposedly, according to religious studies professors that I've had. But it's a bunch of bullshit. Revelations, though, that is a great book.
It's all a great book. Like it's entertaining, but it's not. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like did you read the part about how like you can cure a period? You cure a period by you get blessed by a preacher with holy water, and then you give him a turtle, and like the turtle, I think you have to like flip the turtle over.
This is real.
This is real.
This is in the Bible.
Yes.
What?
So there's some shit that people just forget about.
Yeah.
God, I think also he says he like hates shrimp more times than he says he hates the gays, but none of the Christians seem to have a problem with shrimp.
Yeah.
So it's just really odd. But that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah,
Right.
there's also one thing that makes me laugh. Not once does the fucking Bible mention Satan, except for a guy named literally Satan, but he's not the devil. It's just one guy named Satan. And the only reference maybe you'll get of Lucifer is the snake.
And
Why?
that is what made me want to read the Bible. That right there. Because how can, just me speaking from a Christian's point of view, how can we sit here and slander the devil so much if there's no actual written proof in the Bible that he's as bad as we make him to be?
Yeah. You know, sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was just going to say I loved in Lucifer how they made like the snake and the apple was really just him having sex with you. I was like, that makes so much sense.
I love it. I fucking love it.
That was hilarious.
love it.
I love that.
It was funny.
Yeah, all the hidden biblical jokes that they made, like that one episode when he was just like, "Oh, the burning bush, that was actually me, but you don't see me getting credit for it."
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like he's teaching. This fucking show is literally teaching people about the Bible, and they don't even know it.
Right.
They're not catching on it. People don't know. They go and fact check, and they're like, "Oh, okay, it's actually there."
Yeah, I mean the show is actually almost pro-religious.
Yeah.
Like it's not really anti-God, it's not really anti-Christian or anything. It just depicts one of the characters in the Bible in maybe a more realistic light.
My favorite part is him always saying, "Stop blaming me for your, actions.
Yeah.
Take responsibility, America.
Right.
Don't
Yeah.
blame the devil."
Yeah, you elected Trump.
Like Trump.
Yeah.
You didn't do it. You didn't do shit.
That ain't no problem.
Ain't no problem.
Well, Russia helped a little, but
Look,
That part.
see, you can blame Russia. Don't blame the devil. Lucifer's cool.
Exactly. I definitely do agree with what you're saying, Robert. Like, if it's one thing I do gain from that show as a whole, is that it kind of like promotes the idea of embracing religion with a more open mindset, rather than going in closed-minded. Because there are a lot of people, for example, what's her name? The forensic lit.
Fuck.
oh damn.
Detective Espinosa? No.
No, the forensic girl, the detective douche, like
Fuck, what is a forensics
makes out with.
Gosh, and it's like her name
Ella?
is really
Yeah.
Like I loved her religious journey. How she took a break from God, was just like, me and the big guy ain't cool right now. Like,
Yeah, that was when I liked her the best.
yeah. And then when she finally realized that, no offense to the religious folks out there, but she realized that it was better to live her life without religion, and that's when she decided to become atheist. I honestly thought that was cool.
Well, I mean, she changes back.
That too. She does change back.
So,
But it's just, the point I'm trying to make is that overall, it really does inspire a lot of people to like really look into the religion more, rather than to just dive into it so closed-mindedly. Like, once again, what you said, we got to stop blaming the devil for all of our problems. Most of the times, it's really just us. It's the energy that we put out into the world. Hell, sometimes we're going to get it back. That's nobody's fault but our own. We just got to pick and choose how we properly go about situations in our life.
Yeah.
Not every time we have a Uriel, just fucking up our lives. That's not always Uriel's fault.
Exactly.
So sometimes it can just be us not knowing how to properly handle situations. I mean, shit happens.
yeah. I was really sad when Pierce left the show. Tom Welling.
Kane, bruh. He was a douche too.
He was a dick.
He was a dick, but
Son.
I liked his character. I mean, I was mad once he killed what's her face. I forget her name, but in the end of season 3.
Yeah.
I was mad, but before that, I liked him. Like, he was cool, and I wish he could have stayed because I really enjoyed his character, and I haven't seen Tom Welling in anything since Smallville.
I think I was just really, really pissed off that he stepped in between that whole freaking Lucifer thing.
Everything steps in between that.
Yeah, I would have been mad, but so much other stuff. Like the writers are just constantly trying to keep them apart. So I was like, you know what? It's not even his fault.
It's bruh. Like, goodness gracious. It's literally, dude.
I thought it was funny when he fucking accidentally sent Eve the copy machine.
Oh yeah. It was also great when when she finally finds out that it was Cain, and he was like, I've been trying to tell you this whole time, and you never listened to me.
Man. That's literally every season. Every season. He's like, I don't lie. I don't fucking lie. She's like, I need proof, but I don't lie. But I need proof, but I don't lie. Then end of the season, I told you I don't lie. Well, you just not gave me a proof, but I never lied about it. Like,
oh, this fucking show.
it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's a headache too. It's a fucking headache.
Let's go back to you clapping that headache out.
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, we got so distracted. Long story short, man, the clapper. I really don't even know how I got that name, but
You got good at Smash Bros.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's just I like the references of the
you,
clap.
You kept clapping ass on Smash Bros, bro.
You clap my ass, you clap Robert's ass, you clap the producer's ass.
Which I was not a fan of.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I meant no disrespect by
You
that.
clap Jake's ass.
Jake liked it.
You really did. That's the sad part.
Wow, just throwing shots at Jacob now.
You clap D's ass, you clap everybody's ass, man.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about clapping that much ass?
Feeling great, man. I wish I can clap more ass in real life.
Have you been checked? Since you've been clapping all this ass, have you been checked? Like, have you?
Oh, we'll find out next month.
All right. Well, look, AIDS can sometimes and HIV can sometimes take 6 months to show up. So just make sure you're doing it consistently. All right.
Taking prep.
PSA though, for real, for all those people out there who get checked, it does take 6 months for HIV to show up. So,
The sooner the better.
yeah. So just keep checking, even if you think you don't have it.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Word.
Yes. Video games are dope. All right. I definitely recommend people play more video games.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because it's a stress reliever. It's very interactive. And shit, it's fun.
And at the end of the day, don't beat your meat. Beat the game.
Beat the game. Then beat your meat. But beat the game first.
Do it at the same time.
If you could, you're talented. I need you to
a
teach
celebratory beat.
All
No.
right.
Video games, I don't agree with this, but there are people that say video games are bad. What do you guys think?
I think they're full of shit.
Yeah.
All right. Now, of course, it does depend on the game. Like, for example, Grand Theft Auto 5. A game that allows you that much freedom to do whatever the hell you want. You gotta watch the audience of the people playing that game. Like, if I have my 5-year-old brother, which I don't actually have one, but if I have like a 5-year-old brother playing that game, and there's a side mission on there where you have to literally record somebody doing porn. All right, I was mad my dad played that mission for me because I had to, around that time, he had just bought the game for me. I had to go reload my tap card at one of the nearby banks. And while I was doing that, he was playing the game for me and he did that side mission. And I came back, he was like, bro, this game is fucking wild.
Ty was mad. He's like, I wanted to see naked people.
I wanted to see titties on the game, but you don't see titties on the game that often, bro. It was exciting. But
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Back
dude.
on topic. It's like with that example, you gotta watch out. All right, you gotta pay close attention to the people who are playing games like this because in some cases, people do take from the games that they are playing, and they may just, emulate that same thing in inappropriate areas. But I don't entirely blame the game. I blame the parents in that case.
Well,
So
at the same time.
don't hate the player, hate the game.
Hate the game. All right.
I mean, I wouldn't hate the parents either. I wouldn't blame the parents either.
Well,
It's like-
if they're giving access for the child to an inappropriate game, it is on them, I would say.
True.
Who else are you gonna blame?
I guess. But what steps are they taking aside from, making sure that they're not as impressionable as these, individuals are? Like, so
Exactly. I second that.
do this. I was 5 years old playing fucking Grand Theft Auto.
You were a lot of things that you shouldn't have been.
3, huh?
You are not. You are not an example of what should be, Chris.
Like, I was playing Grand Theft Auto 3, I was playing fucking Vice City, I was doing all that shit. I was playing all these fucking killing games, shooting games.
And look how you turned out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to law school.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I didn't shoot up a school. It's not in my race. What else?
Racist motherfuckers. I hate you.
What else? You know, my parents could have told me, no, don't play it. But instead they let me play it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, others could say, oh, they're horrible parents for doing that. But at the same time, it's like they didn't restrict access from the game. You know, they didn't restrict me access to the game. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is, like, had they kept telling me no, I think it would have been, you know, more rebellious and been like, no, fuck that, I want to play it. I'm going to play it. And I'm going to act out. You know, especially as a child, like, I would have given no fucks to fucking throw a tantrum and just act the fuck out. Because that's how kids are these days.
I knew you was
See, but as a lawyer, you know, right, that one exception to the rule does not prove the case.
No.
Right? So just because you turned out fine doesn't mean that it doesn't have a negative effect on people. And again, I don't necessarily agree, but I think it's something that we need to talk about. And a lot of people brush it off like it's not important. And I do think it's a part of our culture, you know?
Yes.
And culture creates humanity and creates the world we live in just as much as, you know, genotypic things do. Just as much as our DNA. So I think it's important to talk about. Whether we agree with it or not, it's something that we need to be aware of.
That brings us into a huge, huge healthcare issue.
Before you say that, I just want to say one thing. Going back off to what you said, what I will say is only the parents' fault in not fully understanding a child. You know, because there are many examples of people who play horrible video games and they still turn out okay. While there are other examples where, you know, you just allow the kid to do whatever the hell they want, not really understand the way that they think, and allowing this much freedom to kind of like manipulate their own form of thinking. So I feel like in that case, it's just a matter of ultimately knowing the child.
Well, but you can never know what's in a child's head, right? You can only ever know what you think about the child, and you might think that something's fine for a child, and it turns out it's not. And
which is entirely true.
Obviously, right? It's all dependent because you just do your best.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that you try. You know, and of course, when things do go wrong and it ends up influencing them negatively, you can end up with people that commit serious crimes and people that, you know, they can end up getting the death penalty.
Oof. Oof.
Well, yeah, I missed a big part of that, guys.
No, that's fine. Parents, long story short, I suggest sitting with the children, you know, studying their habits when playing certain games, and go from there. Ultimately, games are not responsible for how kids act nowadays. I personally don't think so.
I don't think so either, but they're a factor. Just like everything is a factor, you know?
Everything is a factor.
It's a huge factor of it all. I mean,
Dun, dun, dun.
so, let's see. It all goes into psychology. It all literally dives into it. How does the brain react when it's being stimulated? And not sexually. Ty, I'm looking at you because you had a little...
Y'all totally ruined my transition to the death penalty, by the way.
My brain
I'm getting there.
My brain stem got hard.
No, but I got there, and then we went back, and I was like, fuck.
I'm sorry. This is a fun topic. This is a fun topic.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Let's bring the death penalty into it. All right.
Death penalty.
So, a lot of these individuals that are on death row, some of them are there, you know, because they're there because they committed a crime, and that crime being murder. Others are there unjustly. I can't prove it, but you know there are
recorded cases of you know, and that's one of the things that we talked about Kamala Harris, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that she was like given shit for the other night was that she withheld evidence that kept somebody on death row even when he was innocent.
Exactly.
Right. So it's a thing. Like people that are innocent end up on death row.
Yeah. And that also, you know, goes into drugs. But more of the psychology aspect of it because of how we treat healthcare in this country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, capital punishment and healthcare go hand in hand. First off, if you really want to understand an individual and get to know them, you have to look at their psychological state of mind. Where are they? How are they? And where do they see themselves? If, you know, they have one individual literally creating alter egos, or like the artist the Black, unfortunately, gratefully,
We are creating his
we're
alter
creating
egos.
his alter
That's not
egos,
him.
Sure, but he's an example right now. Like, you're those alter egos.
I'll take it, but
I'm
goddamn.
sorry, bro. That was not me.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
It'd
All right,
be like that.
let's take Ty. We've got so many alter egos for him that we created. Now, say if he were the one to create them, if he were to be in his head, literally like 6 other people creating a fucking meeting in his head. Oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna act out like this. Bam, 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 bam. You know, up until like I think 2013, maybe 2012. I could be wrong. Seeing a therapist and all that just wasn't an option. If you see it, it was out of your own pocket. It recently became a thing where it's included in your healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we're not investing as much money into it to actually help these individuals out and keep them from, or actually help us understand them to help better guide them to make what we as a society call and consider a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because to them it could be a good choice. To us, it's a bad choice more often than not. So, you know, we need to, I think, completely take a step back and look at it to help us understand what the fuck is going on, to help them stop ending up on death row.
So let me ask you this, because I know you know, when you were trying to become a lawyer, you still are, of course, but when you were in college, I think your last year,
Mm-hmm.
you wrote a paper on the death penalty, and you were arguing that it should not be allowed based on the Constitution. Is that correct?
Correct.
And do you want to go ahead and enlighten us as to your reasoning? And then after that, sorry, I know you're about to speak. If you could tell us if you think that there was a way around that issue with it, do you think that it should be legal or allowed or moral?
All right, let's see. So, death penalty itself, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it, and that's great, you know, that you're familiar with it, but I don't think it should have even become a thing. So, the Constitution itself states, well, the amendment itself, I think it's the 8th Amendment. I kind of forgot. It states that an individual will not be punished, you know, with something that's considered cruel. Will not go through a cruel and unusual punishment. But anyway, I think it's cruel and unusual solely because the barbiturate itself isn't effective. It doesn't knock anybody out.
Mm-hmm. So you can still feel the pain. It's more of like you're immobilized.
Exactly.
Right?
It sedates you and keeps you calm.
Mm-hmm.
The second barbiturate itself, the second injection, it isn't one that's gonna take you out and numb everything. It doesn't do that. It burns as it numbs.
Mm-hmm.
So how can one necessarily say that it actually is, you know, good and not cruel and unusual and not actually hurting the individual when there are many recordings, multiple recordings recently too, of botched executions where people are literally freaking shaking as if they're going through seizures.
Yeah.
When the second injection itself is being administered, they're writhing in pain because it's burning their insides. Then the next one is literally just supposed to stop your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but by the end of it, you've already been tortured. You've already been put through all this fucking hell, and sometimes you don't even die then and there.
Mm-hmm.
It can take up from 5 minutes to an hour for you to die, and you're literally just.
So it's inhumane.
It's inhumane, and it's a cruel and unusual punishment. Something that the government, the Constitution itself, bans. So, I mean, I used to be for it. Now I'm not for it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this paper itself really enlightened me, so.
How do you feel about it, Ty? Given that information, do you feel like it should be allowed?
don't entirely agree with death penalty. I understand that there are people that do commit some heinous crimes, and it's probably, I feel like it's the state's way of saying the easier way to take care of this person is to just hurry up and get rid of them. So, given that everything that you just said, Chris, I don't think that it's cool. I don't think that that's humane. I mean, I don't believe that anybody should declare the right of someone else whether they should live or not. It's not your choice. Now, if that person is just like, fuck it all, y'all want my life, y'all can have it. And hey, after a couple of signatures, go ahead and give them what they want.
So you're talking about like mercy killing or euthanasia.
Yeah.
For like, so almost like physician assisted suicide.
Yeah. It's like, let's say someone is getting 350 years to life. Like, we know nobody's going to live that long. So what if that person's like, you know what? If I'm about to spend the rest of my life in jail, like I might as well just end it all now. Like maybe it's the thing for me.
Yeah.
And, like I said, like if that person really wants to go through those procedures after a couple of signatures and letting them know, like, are you sure you want to do this? It's their final decision.
Mm-hmm. I would have them go through a psychiatric thing too. I think that's different than physician-assisted suicide, and I don't like that idea because prison is meant to act as a punishment, right?
Yeah.
So if you let them die, then you're just letting them get out of it.
Yep.
I'm gonna take, and this is actually my opinion. I'm not just playing the devil's advocate. I think we should be allowed to kill people. One, I think I understand why religious people are against it.
The purge.
But for people like me who don't believe that there's a higher power, I think sometimes people need to be taken out, and that's the realistic part of it. But I don't agree with how it's being done now, and that's mostly because of my conversations with you, Chris. A lot of the things that are happening are, in my opinion, inhumane. No matter what I did, I don't deserve to die like that. Mm-hmm. I'd rather get a bullet to the head if I did something wrong than die because, with a burning sensation in my body and have seizures and feel like I can't move because I'm sedated. That sounds like one of the worst ways I could possibly die. Yeah. Do you guys think if we were to develop a way that was humane, that did not inflict pain, and was not torture, do you guys think that we should still have capital punishment, or do you guys think that it should be outlawed?
Let's see. If it was something that can literally be quick and painless, like fast, like sure the individual's going to know that he's going to die or she's going to die. Mm-hmm. But, it has to be something that'll take him out like extremely fast. Mm-hmm. For now, it hasn't been, doesn't exist. However, if it ever does exist, I think it might maybe make a difference in how things are being run now with like the prison system. Mm-hmm. But even then, obviously the way the court system works with all these appeals, mm-hmm. it might not actually happen.
Yeah.
No change will come out of it.
What about you, Ty?
I would say no. I don't think that there's any changes that'll come along with it. I do think that maybe it's a good idea to get rid of it. I don't think that that's going to change, but I think it's a good idea to get rid of it.
I don't know.
In some cases, I feel like it's just the government's way of trying to handle overpopulation. In a weird sense.
There's a mounting case of people against capital punishment. I would say I'm probably in the minority. So you guys, you might end up getting that within your lifetime. And all of this is, of course, assuming that person is actually guilty.
Exactly.
Which is a huge issue, especially within, the people of color who are often falsely accused.
Hey, Ty, that's us.
That's a really big issue, that we have all these falsely accused. And I think that's the biggest argument for me against capital punishment, mm-hmm. is I would never want to kill anybody who didn't really commit that action. Exactly. I'd need to be 100% certain, like they'd need to be captured on camera,
yep.
Or admit to it, So it's like, those are the things that come up to me when we talk about it.
It's complicated. It's really complicated with that. Gives you something to think about. Gives America something to think about.
Yeah, America.
Think about it, viewers.
Red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue.
Head ass.
You want to make America great again? Start by actually making it great. It was never great.
Yes. Well, I mean, there's always been great elements of America.
Elements.
I
yes.
think there are things about America that I really admire, like the fact that it's a melting pot. You know,
Yeah.
like if America wasn't what it was, we would never have met.
That is true.
You know, so
Melting pot, yeah.
I think that's pretty incredible that we're a melting pot of all these different cultures, of all these different people and languages. I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
All right.
I'm going to inseminate Robert.
All right.
We're going to make mutt babies.
No, but
It is a way of pretty much showing exactly how we met. Because imagine we would have never met how the melting pot not been there.
yeah, and Starbucks specifically, like you meet people from all walks of life at Starbucks, which is of course how we met.
Thank you, Starbucks.
I remember when Chris first transferred into the store, I got a little gossip about him from these two people that I knew that were a little bit gossipy and not very trustworthy. I was like, he had just transferred, and I was like, so tell me, how about this new guy? He seems cool. What race is he? Right?
Wow.
And we all took turns guessing his race. They were all so sure that he was white. I was like, nah, I can tell my people he's not white. And the other thing I heard, like, there was no reason for this. This was ridiculous. Is they just told me, yeah, he a hoe though. And I was like, what? Why? And they're like, nah, he a hoe. I was like, okay, that's, okay. But what's your reasoning though? And they're like, I don't know. He's just a hoe. And I was like, all right. And that was my first introduction to Christian.
Oh man.
But yeah, so it was a debate over what race he was. A lot of people were saying Asian too. I think it was the eyes.
Yeah, the eyes. Yeah.
So Asian, white, and Hispanic were the three most popular.
Hey.
And then there was the whole you being a hoe. And then the last thing I remember is one of the first times I talked to you, I was like trying to make friends with you, but you seemed really uninterested. and then we finally hit upon something we both agreed about, where you mentioned that you were an atheist. And I was like, oh, me too. Oh my God. And I put my hand out and you gave me a fist bump and I was like, okay, we're gonna be friends now.
Wow. So take note, guys. That's the qualifying thing.
It's
be a friend.
That is not the qualifying thing. He just expressed like no interest in me whatsoever until we had that conversation, and I was like, oh, okay, I finally found something we can connect about.
You got a friend.
I mean, to tell you the truth, and when I was new to the store, I'm just like, I don't know who the fuck the boss is right now. And then they said, oh, he's a supervisor. I'm like, treat him with respect. He looks serious. You got a friend. I'll take my job serious.
I would always be serious at work.
Yeah.
Because it was stressful. I wish I could handle it like you, where I'm just like, I feel, or I look relaxed.
He hated it. He hated it.
I hated work.
You hated it.
I loved some parts of it. But I hated how stressed it made me.
You loved me.
Oh, I always love you.
It was a shame you couldn't stick around, man. I remember when I first met Ty. He just heard... And he turns around, he's like, what the fuck? I'm like, what do you mean? He's just like, that noise. I'm like, I'm just making fraps.
I'm just flipping frappuccinos.
Dude, if this man Christian was a real life example of Call of Duty, he has the per excited hands on everything. Like, literally, the man is just flash pumping everything. Like, it's just so weird. Like, all he needed was the blender to operate at his speed. Like, that's literally all he needed. And I promise you, this man could pimp out like 10 frappuccinos in 2 seconds. Like, he was just that fast. It was horrific, but so entertaining to watch. Like, I try to do that and I just can't do it.
That's what I admired about Chris, is he could seem so calm and relaxed while being so fast. It's like I felt like I could go fast, but people could tell I was like stressed, you know? Like people could tell I was like freaking out a little bit, but I could go fast, you know? I remember when I met you, this is actually a funny story, with the same guy that told me about Chris being a hoe. We were in the back, right?
In the back, bro.
And you had just started at the store, and we were talking about humor, and you said something to the effect of, I'm not going to be offended no matter what people say, so y'all go ahead and say anything, and we were like, cool. And then you left, and my friend, he like turned to me, he's like, I think he just gave you permission to say the N-word. And I was like, it felt a little bit like that, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to test it,
I gave him the green light to pretty much say all the jokes that he wanted. Mm-hmm. I like all forms of jokes. I like light humor, dark humor, racist humor.
Isn't that light and dark humor?
Yeah.
No, that has its own category. No. All right.
I guess it does.
Yeah, its own category. All right. But I knew I liked racist jokes when someone had told me this one joke. Y'all want to hear a joke?
Yeah, let's hear a joke.
Right. So, the joke goes off like this. It was some white guys, like beginning the slavery time.
I'm already getting triggered.
And they had bought some slaves, and they were on their way to America. But I guess halfway through the journey, there was a storm, and all the white people were just struggling. They didn't know what to do, and one of the white guys came up with the idea that they should do a prayer. So they were calling up all the slaves to come up and do a prayer, just like, hey, which one of you guys know how to pray? None of the slaves raised their hand. But then there was this one guy, he raised his hand, he's like, I'll do a prayer for you guys. And they're like, all right, great. We need you to pray for the storm. Pray that we make it through safely. So the guys, he's just going on, and I'm trying to remember this joke. I'm trying to remember how it goes. He's like, dear God, when you had us on this boat, the boat clearly stated that it was for white folks only. When we land and get to our destination, we're aware you have made everything there for white folks only. So, if anything happens to this ship, and if it sinks, we ask in your name, dear God, let it be for white folks only.
I love that. That's great.
So when I first heard that joke, why am I speaking funny? When I first heard that joke, that's when I knew I like racist jokes. And from there on, it was like I was just striving to hear more jokes like that. And I learned more about my own love for dark humor and just. Ultimately, I'm just in it for the laugh. I love to laugh.
You've heard the one about the chainsaw, right?
No, we're not telling that one.
Gonna say
yeah.
Damn.
That's a good one.
Later?
I'll tell you later.
All right.
It's I like racist jokes as long as it's clear that the intent is not negative.
Exactly.
Like as long as we're fucking around, and I know you guys. I know that you guys can make jokes about white people. I don't care because I know you guys.
I love white people.
And I love black people.
That's my boy. Okay.
And Belizean people. No, but
Yes.
and you guys can make jokes about black people and Mexicans and whatever, and I don't care because I know you guys, and I know that you guys aren't like that, and your intent isn't really to be mean,
Of course.
and you don't actually feel that way. The only time it bothers me is when people do actually feel that way.
Oh damn, that's no longer a joke.
Well, people will say jokes that they kind of really mean, like. For example, if like my girlfriend cheated on me and it was like a year ago, I'll be like, I might be like, you a hoe though. And I'm joking, but I mean it,
It's in your nature.
It's like, yeah.
You can't resist it.
Yeah, like, like you say things that are kind of deep-seated truths as jokes.
I knew you was looking for a green card.
If you mean it like that, then I think that's wrong. Y'all fucked up, by the way.
He did the time face.
I did do the tie face,
did
but
the
damn,
tie
that
face.
was fucked up.
Hey
Trying to say tie.
man, bruh.
I was only looking for a green card. You might have been right.
I
only had to
was
make that joke.
I was just giving examples to his story. I like to do that. A little bit of ad-lib.
But no, I think that's one of the things I liked about both you guys and George from the beginning.
Fucking.
Is it felt like I could joke with you and say whatever, and nobody took it like, oh, he really means it.
How did I meet George?
Oh, that was funny.
What?
Go for it. Tell you how you met. I want to tell mine too.
I'm trying to remember, but go for it. I don't even remember
When I
how
first met George, let's see. I could tell right from the beginning that he was into white women. You can see it. You can see it.
We all could.
You could see it, man. And then there was this one white woman that would always come in. I forgot her name. I think it started with an M and she had red hair.
Was she bad?
She was a twin.
Even if we knew the name, we probably shouldn't say it.
Yeah. I won't say it. But George, if you hear this, you know who I'm referring to.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Are you calling the girl a bitch or George?
George.
Okay, yeah.
I love him.
Word.
Well,
But he's married now, so he can't
that
be.
is true.
Damn.
Yes.
It's alright. I'll be your affair.
Anyway.
So, I forgot what the fuck we talked about, but it was that I'm like, he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy, you know? He's really fucking chill. He's funny, but I could definitely see he's a huge fucking flirt. I'm gonna get along with him, you know?
Yeah, you're a player too.
He's also a nerd. I think that's what's cool
Yeah.
about him. Is like he is a sexy, flirty nerd.
Yep.
And that's such a rare combination. And he's so, the other thing is he's always so happy.
There.
Like I remember when I first started working with him, I would like working with him even though I didn't know him that well, just because he made everybody else happier on the shift. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't even me. Like it didn't really have a huge effect on me, but he would always, like everybody else on my shift would be happier because he was there. And that's something like I try and take something from everybody that I meet that I like and try and incorporate that to myself. And that's something
to you, brother.
that I wish that I could incorporate into myself. I haven't been able to do it nearly as well as he does, but he's, you know, that's a skill that he has that is incredible that I noticed from the very beginning.
I really don't remember how I met George.
Yeah, he's like, George isn't memorable. Fuck that guy.
I really don't. But for me, that's a good thing. If I don't remember how we met, that means like I focus more so on our growth as friends, more so than how we started as friends.
It's kind of cool when you're so close as friends that you don't even remember not being friends a little bit.
Like, you're my friend, Robert?
I mean,
I thought you was my brother.
aww. Aww.
Closer to being my husband, but
Oh my god.
yeah, man, incest is a thing.
Yeah.
So that's who George married.
We did it.
Hey, what are you into?
I hope he's having fun on his honeymoon.
Yeah, me too.
Go to Hawaii.
Yeah, I heard he went to the Big Island.
The Big Island?
Yeah, you know, the main island?
Ooh.
Hawaiian main island.
He's gonna see some water snakes.
And the rock.
Some sea.
And the rock's water snake.
Right. Right. He's probably there right now on scene for Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, just fighting Idris Elba. Good luck. Good fucking luck.
Oh, dad, dude.
But overall, I don't regret our friendships at all. Like,
Yeah, me neither.
we've had a lot of fun being friends. We had a lot of laughs both on the bar and outside of the bar.
We forgot to say, how did we meet the producer?
I don't think that's necessary for... I don't think we have as funny stories. But y'all whack because y'all both did not talk about how you met me.
Because you talked about it.
I did.
No, I talked about how I met you guys.
All I
I
remember
was on your shift.
the only
That's
thing,
how we met.
The what? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we met.
No, well,
we met through Sam.
I know the reason though, because the reason is I was not fun at work. I hear you.
We met through Sam, and Sam was talking shit, and I'm just like, oh.
Wait, which Sam? Old Sam?
Yeah, old
yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
miss
Sam
her.
was talking shit, and she. I do remember her saying, "Oh, he's a little serious," and that's when it clicked. I'm just like, okay, he's serious. Let me act serious.
I could be not serious,
Well,
but I had to feel comfortable, you know?
That's what it was. That's what it was.
So I think that's why, like, George was one of the first people that I was comfortable with, so I would not be as serious with him sometimes.
I forced Robert to be comfortable with me.
Yeah, you just kept talking.
Yeah.
That was... honestly, like, I was... There were so many times I was worried about you because you would always be talking about your girlfriend, even like from when we first met, and I was like, this sounds bad. And it was bad.
It was bad.
It took way too long for that shit to end. I'm just saying, like...
Big oof.
I met her that one time and she didn't like me holding your hand. That's when I was like...
Really? Did she have a reaction to that?
She did have a reaction to it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I saw it in her face. I was like,
Yeah, she was not. You know what? We've talked about her. We don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
But no, like I get it. I probably wasn't the coolest coming off in the beginning, but I'm all right. I am who I am.
I was one of the white friends.
Well, congratulations.
You got it.
I already have black friends, but I liked you, so I wanted to be your friend.
I'm your favorite.
Black friend?
Just leave it at that. Just leave it at that. I don't need to get my feelings hurt.
Well, I mean honestly, I don't really think of anybody in terms of their color.
Just leave it.
But if I were to think of you in terms of your color, I would think of you more as Central American than as black. You're welcome.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
Which is why I probably wouldn't consider you my best black friend. I'd probably consider you like my best like Central American friend.
Yeah, because you're not Central American.
No, but Ingrid is. That's his best friend.
Yeah, you're North American.
The recognition! Finally!
Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you crying?
Only the top part of Mexico though. I'm just saying, not all of Mexico. Some of Mexico is definitely Central America.
Yeah, Chiapas, that's it.
No, it's not just one. It's not just one city. That's not how it works.
It's a state. Chiapas, and that's it.
Does the hammer cry?
Huh?
Does the hammer cry?
Only if you make it cry.
Ooh.
I don't want to see his hammer cry. Yo. That sounds gross.
Ooh. Big ooh.
All right, no. Real quick, because I feel bad. Let's talk about how we each met the producer, I suppose, since she is as much of a part of this.
She was a new hire when I met her.
Yeah, same. I thought she was going to be awful.
Yeah. But then she had a very sweet personality. I'm just like, we can get along.
Yeah.
Get along.
She was cool. She was nice. And then I saw the dark side in her.
I trained her, and she was always willing to learn, which is something I really appreciated. I expected that she was going to be really bad.
Best friend / producer, we love you.
And yeah, we do. Especially me.
Yeah, mostly you.
But-
Because you have to. But
I don't have to.
You
I
have
choose to.
damn.
But I trained her, and I was so sure that she was going to be bad, especially because she was the first person I ever trained. And she turned out great. I remember she used to say she was scared to work with me because she was worried she would like disappoint me because I was her trainer, which was cute. But no, I think she's honestly one of the better baristas there, at least in terms of like how quick she can work and how much she can get done.
True.
So I'm really proud of her, and obviously we're dating, and I like her very much.
Let's see. When did I meet her? When I transferred, I think I worked with her my second week. She was really quiet, really nice though. I did appreciate that. She was real cool. She was impressed with the with the pumping too. She was always like, so how many frappuccinos can you make in like
Let's
a
find
minute or
out.
two? I'm like, I don't know.
Let's find
Let's
out.
find out.
Low key, I want to try and verse you making frappuccinos now, because I've always felt like I was pretty fast at making frappuccinos.
Oh, you were.
But now that I'm hearing, because I always thought you were fast, and if you're fast, I really don't watch you.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't need to worry about that person. So like with Ty, with George, with you, I never, like when you guys were on bar, I didn't watch you. I was like, I know they know what they're doing.
Damn.
Right?
Yeah.
So I've never seen really how fast you can be, and now I want to see it.
Yeah, we've definitely got to put this to the test. I remember there was one time, like, I kept telling Ingrid, I'm just like, look, we're gonna get a rush, and you'll see. The rush finally came, and like 2 months in, and she was on my shift, and by then I think I was already a supervisor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting off a register. Somebody else hop on. So I unassigned myself, put somebody else on, and started fucking doing drinks, and it was
Yeah.
the fraps. I'm like, fucking, got them all out, and she's just like, okay.
That's all you can say to that. That's all you can say to that.
It's like, okay. That was it. That was it.
Ooh.
And from then on, I was kind of doing a lot of morning shifts after that, but then they threw me back to night.
Yeah. Yeah, you ended up closing like every night.
Every night.
And you would do it like while you were going to school too. That shit was, look, I don't think I've ever told you this, but during that period of time, I still look up to you, but I looked up to you so much.
Yeah, man.
Cuz that shit must have been hard. Like getting through that. And you did it for months and months and months while doing school, while working like 8-hour shifts at night, closing every night. That was impressive, you know. So good for you, man.
Yeah.
Green thumb.
And then of course, you know, off the record, you know, I know that there was other stuff that was going on, you know, and that. So you know,
drama.
kudos to you for making it through that.
Thank you.
Fuck drama.
Oh, there was drama.
There was drama. There was family stuff.
Family stuff.
Yeah.
The heartbreak.
That. Then there was school and the other jobs that I was doing too, but it got done.
Yep. And Chris is here. He's here now. He's going up to the bay.
Down by the bay.
Up by the bay.
Flowers grow.
Oh,
I haven't heard that in so long, dude.
I dare not go.
For if I do, my mother will say,
Have you ever seen a llama wearing pajamas
down by the bay? Woo! All right, I'm gonna try and keep that in. Hopefully, we don't get any copyright violations.
Seriously.
That was great. All right.
That was awesome.
And on that note, I think it's time to sign off. So thank you, audience. Thank you so much for listening. Follow us at You've Been Served Podcast on Instagram and bin_served on Twitter.
That's right.
And thank you so much. This has been...
Just Google us.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll find you.
Yeah, we'll find you.
Yeah.
All right. This has been Chris, Ty, and Robert at You've Been Served, and I hope you have a great day.
You've
Yeah.
been served.
I swear, we need to make a little